for having me.
Oh, no problem. So it's an honor. It really is. Yeah, because like I'm gonna be honest, you're like one of the top girls who plays paintball that I idolize. I really do.
Oh, thank you.
No problem, no problem. So, How they all started? Like your career? How they all started? The beginning.
So basically, like, I've been around paintball since I could walk. Like, there's photos of me at a paintball field, like, watching my dad play. So he's played for a long time, since the 90s. And then as I was growing up, my brother started to play. He's a little older than me. And so I would have to go to the field and like watch his practices and stuff, but I wasn't really into it. And then I went and played for the first time when I was like 9 or 10, and my
Right.
brother bunkered me, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. Like, and my dad's like, yeah, good go, and you just bunkered her, and now she's never gonna want to play again. So I was like, I didn't like it then. And
Mm-hmm.
then like years go by, I did competitive gymnastics, and
Yeah.
I got a lot of injuries over doing that. And so the last injury I had, I fractured a part of my spine, and
Ooh.
yeah, it was a whole process because it was a stress
Right.
fracture, and I had to wear a back brace for 3 months, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a whole thing. So my doctor was basically like, well, it's a stress fracture, and just because of the anatomy of your body and everything, like this could happen again. And I was like, well, that kind of sucks. So I ended up getting out of gymnastics, which I really did love doing. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, I know my dad is into paintball. Let me just try it again. And so I approached him about it, and he was so surprised. He was like, really? Like, you want to try this again? And so then the day I actually went out there to try speedball for the first time, there was another girl out there named Jade. And I
Mm.
think that made me feel a little more comfortable. And so
Right.
since she was out there, I went out and like played my first point with her. And then like the rest is history. Like since then, I haven't stopped playing. I haven't really took like a break or anything. But there's actually photos of me from the first day I played, and it was so bad. Like I was holding my
Well,
gun, and my hopper was like turned out and everything. But it's
we all
funny to
have
look on.
those. We all have those horrible like your first day and you're like it's
Hmm.
you don't look like wow, I don't look like that no more. Like you take your
Yeah.
then you're now. It's
Yeah,
like
it's cool to look back at those pictures though,
oh
because
yeah,
I'm like, wow, I look so cool in this picture now, and then I'm like, wow, I looked so bad then. But at least I've, gotten better.
exactly. Yeah, like my dad actually got the Zeppel lighter of me coming back after the pandemic and everything. And I look at it still to this day. I'm like, dang, I don't look like that person no more. Like,
Yeah, it's
what
cool to see the
happened?
transformation for sure.
Big time.
Yeah.
Um, so I noticed that you play a lot. Like you play for the Dynasty girls or Dynasty, however you want to say it. Destiny Dynasty,
Destiny, yeah.
Destiny
Everyone
Dynasty.
mixes them up, yeah.
It's so hard. It's weird to say Destiny while saying Destiny Nola or Destiny Savages or
Yeah.
because they took over that name.
Mhm. Yeah.
um, so I do want to know this. Like, how did it feel? First of all, about being in the NXL, like the women's NXL. Like, how that felt?
It honestly, like the first, well, so basically last year at World Cup we had like our women's exhibition, and that was like the first kind of like event that was
Right,
part of the WNXL,
right,
and it was really cool. Like it was pretty like a kind of like a surreal feeling because you were playing on the pro field in front of all these people, and there's so many people there like screaming and cheering for
right.
you. And which like I've had people like
Mhm.
say, oh, I watched you, because I would just play in divisional NXL before, and they're like, oh, I came and watched you, like you look really good out there, and I'm like, oh, thanks. But like actually being on that stage, like that was crazy. And so there were so many girls though, and we didn't really have as much time, so I think each person only played about like 2 points depending on how the
Right,
teams did it, because it was fire and ice, and but there was like at least four full rosters there.
right.
So we did that, and as soon as we got off the field, they had an autograph signing set up for us. Like they had these tables, they had posters, and that made it all really cool too. Because I was like, wow, I really feel like a pro right now. Like, and we got a cool
Oh
jersey
yeah,
with it, and so we're like
now you're
signing
getting a taste
autographs.
of it.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is really like actually really cool. And then the first event of this year,
Hmm.
whenever we actually competed, like I know on our team, like everyone takes it really seriously. And then Mike
Right.
Paxton, big coach, he's like super hardcore with it and like make sure like you're on your stuff. Like if you mess up, like he's gonna yell at you. But
Well, yeah,
it's just all part of it.
you kind of
So
need that, and
no,
honestly,
yes,
you kind of need
yeah.
that feeling that, hey, um, you messed up, lick your wounds, or you're not gonna go out there to play. I'm the exact same way. When I'm coaching a team or
Yeah,
I'm helping anybody to play, they are gonna whine and get throw a hissy fit. I'm like, I'll tell them this: you have the energy to throw a hissy fit. You can bench out and do your hissy fit or whatever. But if you're gonna lick your wounds, go out there and rewrite your mistakes.
Yeah,
And
so he's really straightforward with us, but
that's great.
it's all part of it. Like we have to have someone to be honest with you or
Right.
else. And so yeah, that first event, like we played very well. Like
Mhm.
I've been playing it too mainly this year on the snake, and I just go out there, shoot my 8 pods, and just hold my lanes and stuff. Like that's what I've been doing a lot this year. And then we got second, but like leading into that, we whenever we won in semifinals,
Yeah.
that like because we knew it was the first event and we were going to go play on the pro field, like that was such a cool moment for
Right.
us. And like there's photos of us hugging and we were like happy crying and all this stuff because like wow, like we just made it to finals.
Yeah. Like making to finals, especially in a national level, it's like you can't not hold back the tears. Like,
Yeah,
especially when you're first, you know, this is like so real. This is like it's
yeah,
kind of like you're made to the Super Bowl of like Sunday, and you're just like the nerves, like this is gonna be awesome, but it's like it's like a little shaky.
yeah, I that was for sure. Like going onto the pro field, like
Yeah.
and like whenever we did get over there, like so we basically how we had it for set up for Florida was we just had like line one and line two, and
Hmm.
on like Friday, Saturday, line one was playing most of our points, and then line two would like kind of go in. But then on Sunday, actually, we started with our line one, and then line two ended up doing better. So we were spinning them more. And so then whenever we got to the pro field, I didn't play as many points, but whenever I like stepped on the field, I did get like really nervous. I was like,
Right.
wow, like there's so many people here, and we ended up losing. Well, we've gotten second at both the events, which oh my god, we have to win World Cup. Like there is no like we want it so bad. So
Right.
World Cup coming up in November, like we're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
win that one. I have to
I
manifest it. Like we're
Oh
winning.
yeah, you gotta be up on your A game, girl. You really do.
Hmm.
And you're actually from the South, right?
Yeah, I live in Houston, Texas.
Yeah. So that's another thing where I probably want to talk about in a couple of minutes. But uh, how did the word destiny came about? Like, there's like I said, you can't say destiny without NOLA, and I know you know the NOLAs.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you remember, but we faced each other one time. I I had the LV 1.6 and I was all dressed up in black and blue. And I think
Okay.
yeah, I remember we were facing and I wanted your LV because it was a Leo Stitch.
Yeah.
Well,
Where was it
so
at that we played each other? What
at
field was it?
LEX. It was at
Oh,
LEX.
okay.
You were with Seth
Okay. Yeah.
um but we'll get back to that. But with the Destiny came up, like how why Destiny?
So basically, like, I know Destiny's been around since like 2002, 2004, maybe. I might
Hmm.
be wrong, but um, B Young Paxton, she's had like she's created a legacy basically. And so
Right.
whenever I started playing, I didn't really know about any of that. And my dad was the one who told me about it. Like, oh, there's this female team ran by B and everything. And so I kind of started learning about it. And so, because I started playing paintball in 2017. So then my dad went to World Cup in 2017 to ref. I didn't go. And he met her and he like got me a Destiny shirt from her and he FaceTimed me and he like had me say hi to her and stuff. And I was like, oh wow, she seems like really nice. But I've seen like videos of her. I follow Destiny on Instagram and Facebook and all that.
Right.
And then the following year, I had just messaged her like my dad told me, and he was like, "Hey, you should see if we can get a 10-man girls team together for World Cup. That'd be really cool. Like we have a
Wow.
lot of girls in Texas who I know of, and like that would be a really cool thing if we could
Yeah.
get 10 of us to go play 10-man at Cup." And I was like, "Yeah." So I messaged her about it, and she's like, "This was like early in the year." And so she's like, "Oh yeah, that's a really good idea. Like, let me see if I can get some people together." So year starts going probably like around the summertime, maybe like starting in the fall. She
Right.
texted me and was like, "Hey, I don't have enough people for 10-man, but I'm gonna put in a D5 5-man team. You should play on it." And I was like, "Okay, like that's really cool. I'm gonna go get to play for Destiny." Like they have, which every year at World Cup I think we've added more teams, but like at World Cup there's always so many teams now that she has like in the divisionals, all of her regional lines and everything. And so I was like, "Oh my gosh, like yeah, of course." And so I go play on the D5 line. She said I
Right.
was like the captain, which I thought was pretty cool. I didn't really do anything extra, but I thought that was cool. And then
Yeah, having a
we
title captain is pretty fun. Like, because even though you're not coaching, you're sort of in a way.
yeah,
So
you're like keeping everyone together and
yeah,
everything,
like
but
you're rallying the troops, like you're making sure everybody knows what they're doing,
mhm.
and make sure
Yes.
that no one does penalties, and who does it, and they're like, "Argh."
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So that was like kind of where it started, and then ever since then, like we don't get to play as many events together because everyone's
Right.
so spread out. And so like any event that we were gonna have our line play, because we pretty
Hmm.
much have tried to keep the same people, she
Right.
would hit me up. So like we played NXL Texas in 2019, but we've always had a team at World Cup that I've played
Right.
with. So like I played D5 that year. That was 2018. 2019 I played D4 5-man.
Mm.
2020 we also played D4 5-man, I think. But we started playing the women's 3-man, which became a thing in 2019.
Right.
And so the first year on that we got second, but then 2020 and 2021 we've taken first both times, which was really
Yeah, that
cool.
was when the big announcement of, hey, there's gonna be a women's NXL, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, my first thing that came to my thought was that you play that, and
Yeah.
if you were not going to, I think it was not gonna be just me. I think a lot of people in the South was gonna come at you and say, you gotta get on board with that.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime I don't play a tournament and I'm just there, everyone's like, "Why aren't you playing?" And sometimes I'm just like, "Oh, I don't know." But yeah, I right before World Cup last year, before we had the
Mhm.
exhibition, B messaged me and she's like, "Hey, they're doing this WNXL thing. Like, you're already a part of the team, like our main line. So,
Yeah.
you know, do you want to be a part of this?" And so then we just kind of figured everything out from there.
Right.
And it was all like people who were already on Destiny. We couldn't really even have a tryout for our team like some other teams did because we already have so many people on Destiny that are like super talented and fit for that team
Right.
that we didn't have to do a tryout. If anything, we like before each event,
Hmm.
we're essentially trying out for the pro roster because we have like 14 people about and we can only have 10 on the roster. So
Right.
we have our layout practices and then whoever is playing the best on the layout plays on the roster at the actual tournament.
Yeah, and when I saw the roster saying that you were playing for Destiny, and it was kind of, I was kind of iffy. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because I thought you would go with like Dallas vibes, or
Yeah.
somewhere around like the South, or um tag in with the, I guess, the Hurricanes, or Krista with the
Oh
Hurricanes.
yeah.
Yeah, because she plays for Hurricanes. Shout out to her. She's a great
Yeah.
player. And so knowing that, finding out that you were going to play for Destiny, it was, I'm like, okay, like, this is probably be a big break, especially coming from the South.
Hmm.
So, and now got you, and as well as Hurricanes playing in that kind of level is just really awesome to see. And
Yeah.
honestly, to me, I do wish Go Sports will put y'all on Go Sports instead on Facebook.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm actually happy about that because you don't have to pay the subscription, and there's not a lot of problems.
Yeah, that I think that helps a lot with last year being the first year or not last year, this past year being the
Yeah.
first year of it. I think they did that to try to get more people to watch it since it was free and you don't have to pay for it. Because I feel like if people didn't really know what it was, they were like, "Oh, I'm not gonna pay for that." So I'm not really sure how it's gonna be for next year, and I think the plan is to have more events like how we only are doing the three this year. I think we might be at all of them next year. Not really sure, but I think they did that just like to get people interested in it, and then maybe next year we might move to that. But
Oh yeah, without doubt, because having a women in Excel, especially you playing like with Destiny and everything, you actually inspire, girls to play paintball because it's known as women's are known as a beautiful evil. And with women playing paintball, they can actually define that term because you can be beautiful and you can be however you want to be like, but when you're on the field, it's like a whole different person and you're just like blown away. And
right,
and that's why I have so much respect for people like that. Respect for you and all the other girls who plays NXL, and get the chance to play paintball in general. That's just it's nothing but respect, and that's why that's one of the reasons why I like about paintball because it allows
yeah.
women and girls, like women, men, whoever you want to say, into the sport.
Right. That's why they like a lot of people say like the gun is a great equalizer because it doesn't matter who you are. Like
Yeah.
if you holding you behind your gun, like you can shoot anyone. It doesn't matter if you're going against a pro. You can still shoot them. Like
Oh
it's
yeah, without a doubt.
yeah, so I mean it's really cool and like us girls, I think because we're girls, like maybe there's more drama sometimes, but like on the we leave it all on the field. Like it doesn't matter who
That's
you are.
and
Like
that's
we're
what I
all
like
friends
about it.
outside.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, trust me. I actually got the experience with you, of course, but when I watched Krista play, here in Slidell at LEX, a tournament we had, and the mech tournament, it's you, she's a girl, but you're like when on the field, she's not a girl. She's like a killer, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh Lord, I'm not in this tournament.
Yeah,
She's
she's
not.
really good.
Oh
I've
yeah,
known her for a long time. I really like her. Yeah,
yeah.
she's
Shout out
really
to
good
her.
though. Yeah.
Um, so another thing I want to talk about is the royal cheesecake.
I
How
love them.
yeah, you ride or die with them basically. It's like
Yes.
every time you see royal cheesecake, you're either on there or you're not. Most of the time you are. So how
Yeah.
did you got on the royal cheesecake?
So basically like I think it was not this it was last year. Did you play any of like the events that were at the guerrilla warfare field before he had to close down?
Unfortunately, no. Justin actually got the field up and running again.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's right now. I'm still not gonna go to his field until he gets a speedball field up and running.
Yeah.
Well, I do know this. Ryan from Pelican Paintball, he finally
Mhm.
got his field.
Oh,
Known
nice.
as NOLA Paintball. Um, I'm actually going there Saturday to check it out because I actually worked with Ryan back in
Mhm.
Metairie before the whole inflation and everything, and he was always talking about how getting the field up and running, and I was going to help him out, but with
Mhm.
everything cutting
Yeah.
down, I stopped going there. And but I asked him like, "Is NOLA paintball your field?" And he said, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh God, yes!" About damn
Yeah,
time.
that's really cool. Yeah, that's
But
cool to hear.
I didn't get a chance to play Gorilla when before he shut it down and everything, and it kind of sucks because I saw so many pictures, so many videos of how great it was. Especially you, I saw a lot of pictures of you playing it. I was like, man, that looks so much fun.
Yeah, those events were fun and he had some good food out there. But like the last one that I played, well, the first one I played, it was with Wasted Potential, and it was kind of just like I just wanted to go play an event, so he just let me play with them. And then the last time, Seth had messaged me. He's like, "Hey, you want to like you're coming to play this? You want to play with us?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I've been wanting to play an event with them." And so that was like kind of where the connection started.
Mm-hmm.
And then that tournament was actually the one where his field did get shut down. So we had to stop the tournament like mid tournament. And so I was like, dang, like I really need to play another tournament with these guys. So the year goes on, and they were playing the USXBLs that were down here in Houston,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a team for that. So like there's 3 events, and so I went to like the first two, and I was just hanging out there because it's right by my
Right.
house. And Seth was like, "You really should play with us. Like, you're not playing. You should play." And I was like, you're right. Like, I wouldn't mind because I played D5 my first year, and then I've played D4 ever since then. And they didn't have a D4 ranked player, so I was like, this
Right.
would be really fun to go play D5 again, like just to
Yeah.
get a little change of scenery. And so, the last Gulf Coast Series event of last year, I played with them, and it was so much fun. Like, and I really love all those guys. Like, the vibe that Royal Cheesecakes has is unmatched to any other team I've ever played on.
Oh,
Like,
no.
everything is just, it's like everything is so chill. Like, the way Seth runs it, like no one ever yells at each other or is any of that. It's always super like happy, chill, even if we're losing, which last year we didn't lose much at all.
Right.
But even like this year, it's been a little harder, but everything is still like no one like it's just not like another team I've played on before. So yeah, we won that event last year, and then we went to USXPL Championships,
Hmm.
which is actually the one this year is this upcoming weekend. But we played championships and we got second at that one, and we did really good. And then we also won the series title for Gulf Coast Series, and so just kind of continued it on into this year, bumping up to D4, which I knew would be tough because in Texas, I don't know, I can't speak for like some of the other ones, but like in Texas, D4 is a hard division. It's like, which
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
without a doubt.
like
It,
Texas paintball is its own thing already, but like D4 here, like literally some people are like that's the hardest division like to play in Texas because there's so many people who've been playing in that division for so long, and then just to like your first year in D4 is always kind of rough. And so we played first USXBL. We didn't do that great. And then we played Bunker Fest too, which the Mardi Gras Open, which that one we had a really good time at. Like
well, yeah,
we,
because his cheesecake was like,
yeah,
I got a chance to try the cheesecake,
and
and
it's so
oh
good.
my god, I can see why he can. I can see why Seth can actually um, run this team and actually finance it pretty damn well because
Yeah, the I was eating like
that's
at that tournament, I was going and eating some cheesecakes before we played. I was
I
like,
don't
this is
know
gonna
how
be
many
my
I had.
breakfast.
I think I had like 9 or 10. I know my stomach was not agreeing with me, but it was so good. It was just
Yeah, and those little bites are perfect, like because you don't
oh
have to eat
yeah,
a whole cheesecake or a slice. Like those are yeah. So those that was a good event for us, and we did well. And then the last couple, well, we just had the last Gulf Coast one, which we had a really hard bracket, so we didn't do that well.
right.
But also at the same time, like I was playing with them, but I also had to coach my kids team, and so I like would play a match
Yeah,
with
we're
the
gonna get to that
cheesecakes.
soon.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. I had to play my match with the cheese because I normally have one of my friends coach them, but he was in Chicago, so I had to do both. So I had to go play with the cheesecakes, and the kids' matches were right after mine. So I would run over, coach the kids, and then we'd have like a 2 match break, and then I do the
Oh,
same thing over again.
oh, that sucks.
But yeah,
Uh,
like yeah, so but I really like playing with them, and like Seth knows I have such a busy schedule with like my Destiny stuff with the kids and then playing with them too. So like they come down to Houston and we'll practice, and that's like whenever I really get to practice with them. I try to go out to LAX sometimes, but like my parents don't like me driving like far by myself and stuff like that. And plus my we went to San Antonio this past weekend,
mhm,
so I couldn't really go. But we'll like we have our championships this weekend, so I'll get to play with them then.
right. And to be honest with you, Texas paintball is no matter what division you play or what kind of game you play, it's always big and hard. Like they really give you the challenge that
Yeah.
in my book and um here in Louisiana as well, we do give you the challenge as well. And one my well, I don't know who can agree with me on this, but I think the most biggest challenge that the South can give players is to adjust with the weather because
Yes.
I don't think any player, whoever you play for, can be prepared for
Hmm.
the tense summer or um the coldest winter. And I mean, yeah, we don't play in the winter, but it's it's to me that Texas and Louisiana and Mississippi, especially Florida, like
Hmm.
when you practice in those states, you are testing not just your skill but your weather, because that way you know what to do. Because a lot of people
Hmm.
have been passing out because of heat exhaustion and stuff like
Oh
that,
yeah, at these
especially in
tournaments here
Texas.
in Houston, yeah, like people
Woo!
were throwing up and passing out, and I'm like, gosh, like, which with the kids, we have amazing
Yeah,
moms,
especially with
and so
kids
they
are
they bring like tents, and we have moms that bring like they're the best. They like bring coolers, they bring fruit, they have body armor, Gatorade, water, they have everything, and fans. We're good, but yeah, there were people falling out.
you and Seth need to play LEX one tournament because I'm not gonna lie, I miss y'all playing there. I really do. It's because y'all brings a vibe to the tournament to get everybody on their feet. And I'm not disowning Drew or LAX with the tournaments they do bring and the people who do sign up. I'm not disowning them or anything, but having different teams every once in a while is good, especially
Hmm.
having y'all in there, and you face like the Bearcats or Hurricanes D4 and all the other South teams. It's just so you can't miss it. You just
Hmm.
really can't. And I know that Bearcats has a lot of new players now, and I would like to see you facing them and teach them a few things or two, because you and Seth just you'll just bring the A game to everyone. It's just so entertaining to see. It really is. Um,
Yeah.
so let's get to the part about the AC kids. Where
So
where did that start with AC kids? Because I know every single time I look at the PB leagues, it's always AC kids beating Louisiana team. Always. What's the deal with that?
so basically like the AC kids started back in like 2019, and it was because like most of my like closer friends in paintball were all around the same age, like 18, 19, 20.
Mhm.
And so back in 2019, well actually it's probably even before that, um one of my friends, he was like, hey, because we all like most of them play at paintball fit, and that was
Mhm.
when AC Dallas was still a thing, and then of course AC Diesel. We're like, hey, we're a bunch of kids, we play here, like why don't we be AC kids? And I happened to be put into that too, and so they went to play a tournament. I unfortunately missed, but that was like the first one that they played as AC Kids. It was just a fun event that they had at Paintball Fit. And
Right.
then after that, the thing was like we all had our own divisional lines already. Most of them were playing D3. And so it was kind of hard to get us all together for like a like major tournament. So we
Right.
would just go play little fun ones in between, not like USXPL or NXL or anything, but like at Fit they have XTPL and Texas Cup and all these like
Yeah.
fun tournaments in the summers. So we finally got together, um, for it was Texas Cup in 2020, and we ended up taking fourth, which was great because we had never played, like we never got to practice together, and we all just kind of showed up, which we all knew each other, but we all just kind of played and we did really well, and that was like we're like wow, we could really do something with this. So we like got jerseys made and everything, and then we played like a fun 7-man event that they have in Fort Worth at Fun on the Run, and it was more so like on that, but it was just like the brand, like the name, like we're like, okay, well, we're AC Kids. We don't really play that many events, but it's still a thing. And so, as all of us were kind of getting and doing our own things, it was harder for us to get together all the time. But we knew we were AC Kids, and so fast forward to this past World Cup, we had I heard that they were doing also a youth division along with the women's, or a youth exhibition on the pro field, and B was she was kind of the one coordinating all that, and my dad had told me about these kids that were in Houston, and he's like, hey, like they like just started playing paintball and they're all like 14, 15, like we should put them in the youth exhibition and enter them as AC kids so we can get that going again. And I was like, that's a really good idea, like so we can actually get a serious team going with that. So they go to World Cup and the youth exhibition. I think all they did was play each team like once. It wasn't like structured in like any X ball or
It was
anything.
not a big, it was not like a big thing until now,
Hmm. Yeah.
because now we got like Bearcat's sons, Connor and
Hmm.
Justin,
Yeah, he's playing on the Destiny Kids lines.
and I think it was Tug, his son
Yeah.
plays it, and some of
Hmm.
Deciolas, and just seeing, having a youth expedition to play a World Cup, that's actually pretty cool. I actually, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, I can see this going far. I really do see
Hmm.
this going far. And now knowing that you're you a part of it, that's actually makes it more fun. So
Yeah, so because last year I coached them at that like in the youth, and then they also played 3 man at Cup since they were
right.
there. But yeah, they beat every team, and one of the kids actually ended up winning a Hormesis coin because he won a 1v1 on the pro field. So that kind of like set the tone. And so then this year we only had like 4 of them then, and so then we picked up 2 more kids, and then
Mhm.
started playing our local Houston tournaments in D5, and they've won all of them. Like they won their first HTPS in January. They've won all of the USXBL Gulf Coast Series this year. And then they went and played NXL Texas, and they got second. They beat Wacom down in semifinals, and then
Yeah,
in finals they lost to Texas Titans, but they got second there. And then yeah, we have championships this weekend.
I had to hear from that.
Yeah.
Y'all forget when y'all whooped our ass. Like I gotta hear the. I get this. Like I have to hear from it.
Yeah.
But no, Walking Downs, they're a really good team, and
Mhm.
I know Cody and Paul and Gary and Lennox. Funny thing about that is that Paul, Gary, and Lennox came from me,
Oh
and
wow.
Cody was one that kind of actually, hey, let's go be with us and we'll travel, and so get them for them to actually play with your team and the AC kids and everything. I'm like, oh, I wish I was there to see that. Like knowing that, because like I said, you just bring out the best of everyone, and you don't even know it. I don't think you even know it, but you do bring out the best of everyone when you face someone like you.
Oh,
You
yeah.
must.
I try like with the kids because they're so talented. Like our
Hmm.
youngest, he's 13, and then a couple are 15 and 16, and then one is 17. And like for them being that young, and they've only been playing for just now like about a year, they're so good. Like way better than I was at that point. And so I'm just kind of trying to like pass my like knowledge to them, and like some of
Oh
the
yeah,
people who I know, like trying to introduce like make connections for them
oh yeah,
too, so that way they have that like people I know. I'm like, hey, look, these are the kids, and of course, like all of the people from Fit and all that, they saw that there's this new like these new kids, and they're like, wow, they're really good, and so they want to help them and help coach them, and and so that really. I like that I was able to help them with that, like as far as getting those connections made for them. So now they
mhm.
know these people, they can ask them for help, and they like them, they respect them, and stuff like that. And also making connections with other teams to be able to go scrimmage and stuff. Like this past weekend, we went to San Antonio. We went to the Field X Factor, and we practiced against Texas Titans, which is a really good team,
Oh yeah.
Innocent Bystanders, and Austin Evolution. And we had a really good scrimmage. And so, like, making those connections with those teams also helps them prepare for tournaments, because then they can go scrimmage them pretty much any time.
As well as having connections with with Jesse Stevens, because I know shout out
Yeah.
to him because he makes it all happen. And like that's the thing that people don't understand, that he's not just for a Texas team, he's also looking out for mostly the South, because
Hmm.
every I think it's every event he's messaged me and he's like, hey, you want an X Factor jersey? I'm like, I want one so bad. But no,
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. What Jesse has done, especially helping you and everybody else down in Texas, because it's hard. It really is. Um,
Yeah, he was actually there this past weekend on Saturday, and he was helping out some of the kids. Like he was like, "Hey,
right.
you're doing good with this and stuff." He's really, really cool dude. But yeah,
Oh
he
yeah,
was helping them
because
out and everything.
we all started. I've been playing for like 12 years, and we all started at that age around like 15, 16. Um, so we're hot blooded. Coming in hot blooded, and like we're ready. Let's go at it. Willing to learn, like get it all out because it's a
Hmm.
sport that you don't have to have a degree or something like that. It's like a
Yeah.
sport that you don't have to like wear like a lot of armor and get concussion
Yeah.
and making your parents like
Right.
worried as hell.
Yeah, if anything, it's kind of safe, except for
It
the
basically
bruises. But
is.
it's not like a contact sport. You're not like going and hitting someone with your yeah.
No,
So it's more
unless
safe.
you're that person with a first strike and just like point blank shot at them, and so
Yeah.
um. So I don't know if you heard about the Bunkerfest having their own series.
Yeah, I
So
did.
how do you feel about that? That is good because it's only going to be in Texas, so it's going to be around your area. Are
Hmm.
you going to be playing those events by any chance?
I'm very excited for those, and I think I plan on playing those. Like, I don't see why I wouldn't since they're here.
Hmm.
I know the kids really want to play it, and so
Yeah.
they'll for sure be there playing it. Because they like last year they wanted to play the Mardi Gras Open, but it was really close to another tournament we played, so we just kind of held off. But yeah, like I will definitely be there playing those. Those I love those events. Like I played the first Bunker Fest that they had in like the beginning of 2021,
Right.
and then the one that was in Austin, I played that one. Event was great, ran amazing. Like um, Chris Rangel and Jeff, like they do a really good job running those events. And
Oh, that
so
without doubt.
yeah,
Without
so that event went great. Mardi Gras Open was great. So yeah, I will for sure definitely be there unless I have something like super important that's going
right.
on. I should be there, and I'm sure the kids will be there too because
Of
they're gonna want to
course. I
play.
mean, they should, to be honest with you. And looking at the events that they're going to have, and not excluding the one in Denver, um,
Hmm.
they are showing a lot of events that probably could fit around your schedule as well as everybody else's schedule.
Hmm.
One that's actually really interesting is the last event, and that's called Halloween Havoc. And my honestly think is this: please, for the love of God, let the kids play this in costumes. Like,
Oh, that would be cool.
please. That's the. I think that would be the last event I probably want to go to see who would dress up in costumes. Like, who would do it?
Yeah, that's cool. Or have like a costume contest or something because they should be able to do it because I know the rule is just you just have to have long sleeves on while you play at a
Right.
tournament for most of them. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, they could probably do that. Would be really cool. I've seen people go out in like onesies and stuff before, but they're covered, and I don't see why they couldn't do that.
Believe it or not, LAX is having the mechanical tournament next week, and I think the rules still apply. If you wear a costume, you get free upgraded paint. Like
Oh,
I guess you get a free case or something. I don't know how that works. It's Drew and PG. They Frankenstein magic. I don't
yeah.
ask. But something like that during Halloween for especially for the AC kids, like, especially you, because you could play in your costume or have fun. And I think this would be a great experience as well for you and for the kids, as well as get away from being that serious kind of
Yeah,
pressure,
it adds like an extra like fun element to it. Like of course we all go out there to have fun anyway, but it does get kind of serious sometimes. And so that
especially
actually that's a really
USBO,
good idea. Yeah, like it would
especially
just add a
USBO
fun.
and your schedule with NXL. Um,
Yeah.
to have that comfort. And don't worry, the kids will play um, the following year because that's when Bunkerfest is coming back to here in Louisiana. So
Yeah.
they have an extra year to get ready for it.
Yes,
um,
yes.
so let's talk about the story about the Leo and Stitch LV. Tell me the story about it. Like how and why and who.
So, so basically what happened was is to kind of give some context, the second tournament I ever played
Mhm.
was a USXBL championships. It was the same year I started playing. And at that tournament, Under had a booth set up and he had a headband that had Stitch on it and like literally the same Stitch that's on my gun. And I was like, this is such a cool headband. So I made my dad buy it for me. and then I wore it at that tournament. And I that was like my favorite headband. I probably ended up getting like 20 more headbands over the next course of the years because just why not? But I always would go back and wear that one. So I really liked that headband. And so whenever I first started playing with Destiny, I had to start shooting Planet Eclipse, which I love Planet Eclipse, so I didn't really
Yeah,
mind. But
without
I
a doubt.
also, yeah, so and I had a Lux before that, so I got a Planet Eclipse. It's my my Vegas gun that I have. It has a Vegas NO on it. That one came straight from PE like that. And
Hmm.
so start shooting Planet Eclipse, and then 2020 when the LV 1.6s came out, my dad was like, "Hey, you need a PE backup gun," and I was like, "Yeah, that's true." So we get it, and it's all black, and my dad made sure we ordered an all black one because we were gonna get it anode, and I got it from Pro Edge, which is the local store here in Houston, and
Right,
I go pick it up, and I was like, my dad's like, just shoot it for a week, like this upcoming week, before we send it off to Anno. Just make sure you like it. So I
right.
shoot it, and I was like, I look back on those photos from when I did, and I was like, wow, it looks so plain. And so I didn't really know like what to do because like in my mind, like that's like someone asking you like where do you want to eat. Well, whenever you start thinking about it, then you don't know, but you probably think about it in a whole nother time, whatever you're not trying to think about it. So I was like, I don't even know like what to do. And my dad was the one like, you should get Stitch like on your headband. And I was like, oh my god, wait, that's such a good idea. And I love the color blue. Like blue and purple are my favorite colors, and it would match all my Destiny stuff. I always have to be color coordinated. And so I sent it off to Anno, and the person who did it was Ryan Hall at Arc Anodizing. And
Really?
so, yeah, and
Wow.
he's done, if you go to like his Instagram page, he puts out so much cool stuff. Like he's really, really good at what he does.
Yeah, I've
So
seen his work. It's like, wow.
yeah, it's insane. And so I sent it to him. It was like in July was when I sent it to him, and I knew like he was busy. He was so busy because I knew a lot of my people who I knew were sending their guns to him, and I was like,
Hmm.
well, it's probably gonna be a minute before I get it back, but that's fine. I have my other gun.
Right.
So and then I also heard that while he had my gun, he had broken his hand. And I was like,
Ooh.
dang, I'm not gonna get this for a while. But I was like, you know what? It's all right.
Yeah.
So I didn't really hear much from him. And then we were talking about the design. I sent him a picture of the headband, and he's like, "Well, for the way anodizing works, like this is a lot of colors, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it. But at the least, I can like put a silhouette or like an outline." And I was like, "That's totally fine with me." And so didn't hear from him for a little while, and then all of a sudden, I was working at our local field during the summer, and I saw a photo of it, and I because I went on Instagram and I saw the picture, and I was like, "That's gotta be my gun. There's no way like there's no way that's mine." And it was like his post, and I was like freaking out. I was like, "Oh my god! Like it looks so good!" Like just that first time seeing it, I was amazed, and I was like the detail and the colors and the mountains and the trees and and so it's like, "Oh my god!"
The
And so I
barrel.
yeah, the barrel too. Oh, it looks great. And so
That
I
barrel was
called
like,
yeah. And so I called my parents immediately. I was like, "Dad, like mom, like he posted my gun." Like the level of excitement was just unreal. And
holy
so I was like, "Oh my god!" But like, I didn't know when I was gonna see him. Yeah, I didn't know if I was gonna get shipped or whatever. And
right.
so I had it sent back to Pro Edge, and so it got there in like a couple days. And so I went to pick it up and like just seeing it in person, like in my hands for the first time. They like at Pro Edge they put it all back together for me, and I was like, wow, like this is crazy. And then it blew up on the internet too. Like PB Nation posted it. All these people, like it got
Yeah,
so much attention.
yeah, because it's Lego and Stitch. I mean, I can't say anything. I'm a big, huge fan, Stitch fan. I actually have a plushie, and
Yeah,
I'm actually gonna say it. I don't care if people make fun of me. I love Stitch, and I have a big plushie in my room,
I do
and
too.
I would actually still want to like kind
This is
of.
like my water bottle. I have it like all over. Like
I'm
there's
obsessed
so
with
much.
Stitch, and I think the reason why is because I am a little monster. I love the color blue, and I
Hmm.
always want to go Hawaii, or I always like tropical feel. Even though I'm a
Yeah.
fall guy, um, I would still like to have a tropical feel. Especially, I have this like tattoo of. Sorry if you hear barking. That's my dad's dog.
Oh,
Um,
it's okay.
But if I have this tattoo coloring book, and I always like to do Japanese style because of Leo and Stitch, even though it's from Hawaii.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
love the color and everything, and that's why I
Mhm.
kind of still want to have your gun, just to not to
Yeah.
use it, but to display it, because that is one of the guns that you try to find, and it's literally the first thing you find, like on Google search or any
Yeah.
search, and they were like, "Oh, that's Haley's gun." That it's you basically made yourself a name already with a Leo and Stitch LV 1.6.
That's like a really cool thing I've noticed. Like everyone knows that that gun's mine. If it was ever stolen or something, people will be like, "Hey, like that's Haley's." And it was actually funny. I don't know if you saw it, but a couple weeks, maybe a month ago now, um, this like fake buy sell trade like account had posted. They were like stealing people's pictures basically and trying to say they were selling gear. And so they were
Yeah,
stealing a bunch of photos from Lone Wolf, and they had a picture of my gun on there for
that's
sale.
because Lone Wolf went to what was it? I can't remember. Giant Play Party or whatever it's called. I can't remember.
They took a picture of my gun at World Cup last year, and so
Yeah,
that was where they had that photo from. And
there was,
so,
but they did went to I think I can't remember. I think it was Giant Sports or something. But that
oh yeah, yeah,
they did a video of them, and I believe your gun was there. I guess it was getting Anna or not Anna, but I guess clean or service or anything. But it was your gun, and
hmm
I was like,
oh, they went to Pro Edge, and
yes,
yeah,
they went to
I do
Pro Edge.
remember.
It's it's just you can't copy that gun or any of the Pro Edge guns they do, especially with the DSR. When the DSR Plus came out, they immediately came out of the blue splat and the red splat, and I was like,
Hmm.
God, I want that so bad. I almost got
Yeah,
it. That's another story I could tell you later, um, because the story about me trying to get that gun is a long
yeah,
story. But no, I'm glad you are known as the Stitch Girl, having the Leo Stitch LB 1.6, and that's one thing I didn't know. I thought you were just liking it because of the movie, but you're a Stitch fan, so bonus.
yeah. And I love that movie, but
Who
whenever,
doesn't?
like, yeah, exactly. Like you,
Who
and
doesn't?
then
Who doesn't even like the show? Like
yeah,
whoever doesn't like the show needs to get out.
yeah. I watch the show in the morning sometimes. It reminds me of like my childhood when it would come on.
You have to. Yeah, it's
But
like you have to.
yeah, it
Have
was funny though. Whenever the person posted that gun up for sale,
to. Hmm.
or well, my gun, my dad like messaged them just to see what they would say, and so they were like, "How much?" And the person told my dad like $500, and I was like, "Okay, really?" Like, and
No
so
way.
someone else, yeah, and so
No
someone else,
way.
because some people had messaged me, they were like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, like this person posted." Like, I had a bunch of people who I knew text me about it,
Yeah.
and I just honestly, I thought it was funny, and like my dad had called me as soon as it happened, and he's like, "Haley," like I was asleep, and he was at work, and he saw it, and he's like, "Haley, is your gun in your bag?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think so." And he's like, "Well, can you go check?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I
No
got it,
way.
and
Oh my God.
I had just came back from playing Sacramento, and I was like, I know my gun's in here, and so yeah, I was there and everything, and so I just kind of thought it was funny, and I was like, someone's trying to like lowball y'all with my gun. This gun is worth way more. And so the following weekend, the Cheesecakes came down to practice, and I took a picture. I let one of my teammates use it, and so I took a photo of him holding it, and I was like, "Yeah, this is the loser who bought my gun online for $500." And then so many people were texting me. They were like, "Oh my god, are you serious? Like this guy bought your gun. Like I'll help you buy it back." And I was like, "I was like, no, it was a
That's
joke. I
dumb.
promise it was a joke."
That's messed up. Come
It
on.
was so funny.
Now, if you give me that gun and let me hold it or anything, I'm running away with it. Like totally,
Yeah,
I'm running away with it. But
yeah.
now I have an L. I actually got rid of an LV 1.6, went with CS2. Now I'm back with an LV, but I got the LV2.
Oh,
And
okay.
the idea actually came from you of doing a Jack Skeleton stitch, um,
Oh yeah.
with the LV2 being, black. Um, because the idea came from you.
Yeah, I'm
The
actually
idea came from you.
It was funny you say that because someone they had some LV2s at Pro Edge. I go like once a week normally, and so we were there last week, and
Right.
my dad was like, "Look, they have an LV2. Like you should get one in Anoa," and he's like, "What should you do?" And I was like thinking like my gun, but like inverted colors, like a dark theme, and I was like, that would be so cool. But I don't. I'm really content with my guns right now. I love them. Like my
Oh
LV
yeah.
is like super broken in and everything, so it just has that perfect shot. Like anyone who shoots it, they're like, "Wow, this
Oh
gun
yeah. I've
shoots super
seen
good."
it.
Same
I've
with my CS2. Like they're both really different guns, and I every time I like switch, I have to adjust myself to it again. But they're both like I love both of them.
Are you gonna
I
get rid of
never
the
really
Lux?
have issues,
Are you
huh?
gonna are you gonna get rid of the Lux?
Oh, I got rid of that a long time ago.
No,
But
thank God. Oh, thank God.
honestly though, like that was my first gun that we like
Right.
bought that was for me, and I didn't have a in like the year, a little over a year that I had it. I never had a single issue with it. It was like Lux Ice, and
Okay,
I
so that's
got it.
before the X started messing up.
Yeah, I heard about that. But like my ice, it shot great. Like I never had a single issue with it. I got lucky because I've heard a lot of people have the horror stories with Luxes, even though they do have a really nice shot. But yeah, that particular one shot very good, and I was like kind of sad having to switch, but I
Mhm.
did really end up liking my CS2 in the end, and I still have it. I don't know if I'll ever get. Well, I don't think I could get rid of either of
I
those
don't
because
think
my
you should get rid of
CS2.
it because due to the fact that now they don't make CS2 anymore, so it's kind of you want to hold it a little bit longer
Oh
um,
yeah,
until they come out with CS3 or
right, yeah,
I
and
don't know. We don't know what Jack Wood would do. We don't know
yeah.
what he would do because it took us 15 years for an LV2, so we don't know how long it's gonna be. So keep that CS2. Just
Yeah, it was actually really cool. In Philly, Jack Woods was there, and I got to meet him, and I showed him my gun, and he was like, "Oh my god, this is so pretty!" Like he really liked it, and I don't know if he knew what Lilo and Stitch was at first because I was like, we were in the pro pits. I was helping another team, and I
Mhm.
saw him standing there, and I was like, "This is my opportunity. I have to meet this guy, and I have to introduce
Right.
myself." And the other guy who was with him, I don't know why I'm blanking on it. Oh, John Dresser, and he runs PB Nation. He was also standing there, and he's like, "Yeah, that's the girl with the Lilo and Stitch gun." And Jack, he seemed like he didn't know what it was, and so he came into our pits later on to watch our matches since obviously we we're a PE team. And I
Yeah.
showed him the gun, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, like that's so nice!" And I thought it was so cool. He even took a photo of it and put it on his Instagram, and I was like, "Wow, what an
It's
honor!"
sad to be honest with you because if you do get analyzed, um, I know you do lose the warranty though. It
Yeah.
does sucks, but that's why if you get please go pay Pro Edge or somebody that you know who can do it really well, especially with laser engraving. Um, that's why I'm kind of glad you did not went with a laser engraving because I was told that if something happened to during the laser engraving process, there it's not under warranty as well. There's nothing you can do about it. And I'm like,
Dang.
oh, I.
Yeah, I've for me, some laser engravings that I've seen, they're like really hit and miss. Some of them look really good, and then others, I'm like, that looks a little. Mm. But
It's actually hard because the fact that some of them actually can ruin the bolt
oh, okay,
because it depends who does it though. Whoever does
yeah,
it, though, if they don't know what they're doing, I think it can ruin the bolt when it comes out, or ruin the wire if you haven't LV.
hmm,
Um, so now another topic I wanted to talk about is this: if you do come to LEX, do you prefer playing the D4 tournament or more of a mechanical?
Honestly, I would probably play D4. Like, I've played mechanical before,
Hmm.
and to me, I don't know, I'm not like good with mechanical guns, and so like some people can make them shoot super fast, and I'm just here like barely getting it going,
Right.
and so I feel like I wouldn't enjoy it as much. But I love like speedball and like how fast paced it is and
Right.
everything, and I feel like I get bored easily sometimes. And so I would
Right.
definitely, if
Yeah.
I had to choose, I would probably do D4.
Well, that's a. I mean, probably for me, I'll probably do D4 as well, but not in the summer.
Yeah.
Definitely not in the summer. Ugh.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, this
doozy. Right.
yeah, especially here like this past I think it was this past weekend I was no, not this past weekend, the one before because the weather's actually gotten kind of nice recently. But when it was still hot, like I was out on the turf and we had a really long point. My feet were burning. I was like, this is not it. Like my feet, the bottoms of my feet were burning just from being out there so long. It was annoying.
It's. I think I don't know if you remember him, Tyler Stringer. I
The
think you
name sounds familiar.
Reds plays for Team 13. He
Oh yeah, yeah. I know who you're
he
talking about.
actually had a he was dehydrated and he passed out, but he was playing every single point. He was playing for the Jugs, and it's still to this day. I keep a touch on him, see if he's okay. Make sure everybody's okay. Stay hydrated. But now since we're about finally hit the fall, thank you.
Hmm.
It's not gonna be as bad. No.
Yeah, this past weekend felt great outside. It was
Oh,
so
without
nice.
doubt. Oh,
I hope
without
it stays like that. I really hope it stays. I feel like normally here we get that like little bit of nice weather and then all of a sudden
doubt.
it's hot again. But I hope it stays.
I mean, I do hope that you do come back to Louisiana, slide out to play, or check out any of the fields, um,
Hmm.
because it's just like seeing the women's division playing, you know, in the South. It's just so much respect, and it's just so entertaining to watch, and it's just like wow, and you can't keep your eyes off of it. You really can't. But
Hmm. It's such a big change from watching the men. Like
it is,
it's so different, but I like it. It's in a good way.
yeah, in
It,
a great way. So another thing is this. I know that one of the Destiny, I'm just gonna say Destiny girls because it's mostly y'all, um,
yeah.
has another podcast, the Destiny Nation.
Oh
Or
yeah, yeah. B does that.
so, have you been on there and like, what's the story about that? If you know by any chance,
Yeah, so B does it once a week. I think normally Wednesdays. I think it starts a little later, but
right,
she has different people on there each week.
right,
She does like so for us as being like the main Destiny team. She'll announce like a challenge for us to do, or Mike will come up with the challenge. And so like before, like our first challenge was shooting a paintball out of the air, and she would announce it on the podcast, and then she'd be like, which one of we're kind of using it also to help raise money. She'd be like, oh, to enter in this like raffle thing, you can also say who you think is going to do the challenge first, who's going to win basically. And so she does that on there. We That was our first challenge. I did it. I didn't do it first though. And it was really hard. I was so happy when I finally got it though. I have it on video. But
oh,
and then now our next challenge is you have like a water bottle on the ground
right.
and you shoot the bottle, and then when the bottle goes into the air, then you have to shoot it again. And so like we come up with fun stuff like that.
That,
But she's pretty much like getting like I guess things that are relevant too. So because
mhm,
I think this week she was having on some of the kids who are actually playing in the youth division at Cup this year.
right,
She's gonna have them on there. She does like little segments too. She'll have Mike go on there, and she has her daughter BB also who is playing in the youth division, and she'll be on there talking or kind of have like things for younger people. The
right.
last time I've been on there once or twice. Normally, whenever she's doing it, I have homework to do or something because I'm in school, and
Same.
so yeah. So the last time I went on there though, because at the last NXL
Mhm.
they had that big standoff thing with the DMG guy and the Impact guy,
Oh
and they
yeah,
had
that
and
was
so yeah, so we actually got Dylan Boyum on the show. He was the DMG guy. We had him on there, and B is like, "Oh, tell us what happened," and that was actually pretty cool getting to see him on there and hear his side of the story.
yeah. I mean, well, that was a big blowout about with the DMG and Impact. I don't know the story. I mean, all I know, what I've seen was probably got hot blooded because you're playing, Chicago, and I guess they testosterone or level was too high, and
Yeah, they just like they shot each other, and then neither of them stopped, so it just kind of just kept going. And then
they
Dylan actually Dylan actually shot him a little more, I think, because the impact person was Justin Cornell. He ended up like coming off the field, and then
Oh, both guns
I
were
mean,
off. They
yeah,
fresh took both of their guns. They were like, "Oh,
yeah,
that's not good."
yeah. I think they just got ejected for the rest of that match, and then everything was fine. I mean, Impact ended up winning anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's as well as like I don't know if you saw how Hurricanes got 4-0,
Oh
being
yeah, I've been watching them. They've been doing super good.
4-0 as a rookie team. That's
Oh
just
yeah,
like
I'm so happy for them. Like anytime I see them doing well, I'm like, that's really cool to see that this is
if
their
you
first year
go
and you're doing great.
if you go back on my other videos, I did a live um NXL event on Saturday. I was screaming the top of my lungs, acting like a buffoon, like the Saints winning the Super Bowl. And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my God, what? Every time I look back to it, I'm like, what did I freaking do?
yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty awesome seeing the Hurricanes being 4-0, especially
Hmm.
knowing you probably root for the
Oh
Houston game.
yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, like, some of the guys from Houston here are actually from Houston, but most of them aren't.
Oh
But I feel
yeah,
like it's like that for most of the teams.
I think what Tyler Harmon, he's from Texas or he's not.
No, he's from California. I know, like
Yeah,
Devin Stewart's
whatever.
from Houston. Nico's from Texas. He
Brian,
used to.
he's on. He's not. He's from
Yeah,
Chicago.
no. And then yeah, and then Ryan Smith. I'm pretty sure he's from Houston. And so like so I think those are the only ones I know of that are actually from Houston and or Texas. I don't know about some of the other ones,
So,
but I know a lot of them don't live here.
well, since this was a mystery, um, you were a mystery guest, and a lot of people did not say your name, which I love. I love this so bad. It was so like knowing that people did not guess your name. I was like, thank you. Like
Extra surprise.
it was like hello.
Yeah.
Um, I do have a TikTok, and we do have some questions, and like I said, mystery. So these questions are kind of like general questions. So let's answer from them. It's actually got one from Jake from California. He said, "If it's a female, surprise. um, if it's a female, how how does it feel knowing that you're playing a male sport, but you're dominating and beating other males teams when you get the chance?"
That's actually such a cool feeling because last year at World Cup, like we've been playing only the women's division this year, but last year at World Cup we played D4 5 man,
Mhm.
and well, of course we were playing against other guys teams, and in
Right.
prelims we went 8-2, did super good, and then we ended up losing Sunday morning, but that was the same day we were playing 3 men, so it kind of worked out. But
Right.
it's so honestly it's so fun beating guys teams as being an all girls team because like of course in the local tournaments I'm already playing with guys and so I'm just kind of playing against them. It's not as big of a deal, but like us playing as our all female team against them at World Cup last year,
Mhm.
like they don't want to be beat by us, and so like us
I don't
just
mind.
dominating like prelims last year at Cup, you could see it and like we all felt really good about it. We're like, yeah, we're doing good. Like we had a really solid line, and so everything was pretty much just going well. It was a really I World Cup is always the best anyway, but that was a really cool experience. Like getting to beat them, it's fun. It really is fun.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would not be upset if I get. I was not even upset when I got smoked by you. I was not upset at all, to be honest with you, because knowing that hey, a female can compete to my level, or I can compete with a female level, that's pretty cool, and it's just a good feeling. Like knowing
Yeah.
that no matter what gender you are, it's you have that cool feeling, like that great feeling, and
Yeah, and it brings us all together at the end
oh
of
yeah,
the
we're
day
all
anyway.
family.
Like yeah, like I whenever I meet people at school and I tell them, "Yeah, I'm a professional paintball player." They're like,
Yeah,
"What?"
that's another thing I want to say is that what like PB leagues, if y'all watching this, make all these female pro status. Just do it because y'all should be all the females should be a pro status, without doubt. I
Yeah.
they need all. I know you have to go by the rules, and jump from D4, D3 and stuff like that. I understand that, but come on, it's women's
Yeah.
league, so make them pro, get them the pro status because come on, just they prove it enough,
I
and
so I think I think it might change next year
I hope
because there's going to
so.
be more events, but the reason that I heard, and it kind of does make sense, is this year, since we only had 3 events,
Yeah,
they didn't want to give us pro points for it because then we wouldn't be able to play any of our local tournaments as also. And so that's why they kind of left it at D4 points so that way we could still play like our local leagues and not only
right.
have to play WNXL. But whenever they let us, like if they have us at all the events next year, then there's no reason really not to,
Right.
because then yeah, then those will be the only events we play. But since there was only 3 this year, it kind of still gave us the opportunity to play our home like uh,
Yeah, it
local
gives
tournaments too.
you
But
and
I mean, next year if we have all 5 events or whatever, if for WNXL and we have to play those, then yeah, it makes sense because it's the same as the regular pros
I
that
hope
they
there's
play
like
those
more.
tournaments.
I just hope there's more women's teams. I would like to see more women's teams. I really do.
Yeah,
And
for Cup they added 2 more teams. So we had our 6 from Florida and Philly, and then now they added a team that won the Europe Championships and then one in South America. So they've added, excuse me, they added 2 more teams, and
right,
so we'll see how that goes. And then I would think that next year they're gonna add more, like expanding it, because I mean
I hope so.
that's what we're doing all this for, is to get more
Right.
girls into the sport. And I've honestly, like last year, I've never seen so many girls at an event until last World Cup, and then of course it's been the same since then. But it was really cool to see because normally I would just see like me, my girls on Destiny, and maybe a couple here and there, but like there were so many, and it's really cool to see. And I even last Thursday went out to help this youth team that's in Houston that's going to play in the youth division at World Cup, and they have a little girl and she's 9, and she's like super passionate about it. It's really cool, and so I went out and I was helping them, and she was the cutest thing. But she loved it. She was getting into the snake, crawling all the way down. I was playing behind her. I was like, "Go, Bella, just go!" And she was going all the way. So I think like what we're doing hopefully is really bringing more girls into
Oh
it.
yeah, without doubt. Even Wesley Smith, who's from the Bearcats, he has his 2 little girls, precious little things ever. I think in my last interview I had with them, I think one of them is actually wanting to get into the sport, and one of them probably doesn't. And we call them I can't remember what they're called. I think they're called pod runners or something like that, or the
Yeah.
pod squad. They're
Oh,
really
okay.
pod squad, and seeing you and Krista and like all the women's team that's aspiring young girls to play it, it's just really awesome because um, not too long ago there was a local tournament played by my friend's house, and I'm not gonna say where because I don't want to give out his information.
Yeah.
Really. But it was a local tournament. It was just a small 1v1 tournament, and a little girl beat me. A little girl beat me, and I didn't get mad or nothing. I did
Yeah.
not get mad. All I did is just shook her hand, gave her a hug, and I told her, good job." Like
Yeah.
it was a minor hit. It was actually on the back of my head, and I was like, I did not even see her coming. And I'm like,
Wow.
so yeah, having you and like the goal that you and Destiny, Dallas Vibes, all these women's teams are doing for girls and women is just it's a big part, and I have nothing but respect, and that's why I consider you like one of my idols. There's a lot of female idols that I aspire like wrestling. There's Becky Lynch, um, for and as well for baseball. Like I know a lot, so I can't name a lot, but
Yeah.
number one, if I have to say my number one aspiration for paintball has to be you. It has to be you because you've done mostly everything, and you coming from like 2017, just not knowing like been playing it for a long time, but you're just like now like the level that is shocking, and
Thank you.
so much respect, girl. So much respect.
Thank you.
All right, so this one is actually one of my lightning questions, but I'll go ahead and ask it because someone asked it. What is your favorite marker of all time?
Oh, people have asked me this before, and it's tough because it's definitely between the CS2 and the 1.6. Like they're both so good, and they both have their own like strengths and
Yeah.
weaknesses. Like I would say my CS2 is super durable. Like that's what I always pull out whenever it's like raining or muddy and stuff. And not that the 1.6 can't do that, but I get a little nervous because it's an open bolt, and
Hmm.
so I always use the CS2. But I don't. I guess I would say the 1.6 because I use it a lot more, not just because of the way it looks, but because of
The way it
how good it
shoots.
is. Yeah, the way it shoots, the shot on it is. I love it. I'm super comfortable with it, so like I can always like ramp and everything, reload like everything. So I guess I would say the 1.6 LV 1.6.
Yeah, the 1.6 when I had, I just couldn't like it because that AC, that pipe, and
Hmm.
I didn't feel like I had control. So that's why I had to go with the CS2. And then when the LV2 came out and I got the chance to shoot it, I actually fell in love with it because I personally, to me, I'm an LV person, and
Hmm.
knowing that it didn't have that damn freaking pipe, I was
Yeah, and then
actually,
the LV2 didn't have it.
it actually had the grip of the CS2. It actually is the
Right.
grip of the CS2. And I was like, have more control. I'm shooting accurate. I'm like, where was this before?
Yeah, I
um,
know. I shot it in Philly, and it has a really nice shot.
it does. It's super accurate, and it's just now you actually have a good grip on it, and it's just
Hmm.
one of my favorites now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so another one. Here's one. This is a. Well, I think this might be a good one. Um, so this one is this. What was the biggest achievement you ever had in your paintball career, and what was your biggest downfall?
Okay, so I can think of this immediately. So my biggest achievement I would say so far
Mhm.
is well, it's gonna change at World Cup because that's gonna be my biggest achievement whenever I win World Cup. But before, it was whenever the first time I won World Cup in the 3v3 division
Mhm.
because the previous year we had gotten second and it was a really hard loss and I was like, at least we still podiumed and I was still whenever I was like in my first few years of playing. So whenever we took first the following year, I don't that was the first time I've ever happy cried in my life, and it was such a cool moment. Like my parents were there. Someone actually took a video. Like we're all hugging. Everyone was super happy. Like that was definitely like my biggest moment. Actually, I have like my World Cup rings here. Well, I have two now. I have this one, and I have a trophy here as well. But that was like hands down like one of my. And then we won Cup the following year, which was really cool too. But like the first time winning, especially at World Cup, huge thing. And then I would say my biggest downfall so far it has been this year, but it's just been like so we got second at the first event, right?
Right.
And then getting second in Philly, I
Mhm.
was really upset because I was like, gosh, like we got second at the first event. Why couldn't we win this one? Like, and it really got to me that day. And of course, like all my teammates were super. I was upset. I was crying, but it was just because I felt so frustrated. Like we should. I just felt like we should have won. And so, and it was out of our hands. Like the Heroines were just better that day, and they played great. I mean, they deserved to win.
Right.
And so, it got to me, and so I was like, damn. Like I was so, and my parents weren't there. Also, I went to that one by myself, which my boyfriend was there playing on a different team. He plays semi-pro, but it was just like oh, it was just such a moment. And so I was back like where we were changing in our pits, and I was upset. And my teammates were like, "No, like this isn't your fault or anything." And I'm like, "Well, I don't feel like it's my fault, but it just sucks. It just really sucks." And so I feel like getting the second places kind of has like it's pushing us to want the win so much more at Cup than anyone else because we've gotten this close every time. And so
Oh
I feel
yeah,
like that was
it's every tournament. It's every
yeah.
single tournament. I mean, World Cup is just it's just a big tournament. It's the biggest tournament of all. But it's you here's some advice just for you, girl. Going out there, don't expect to win. Just go out there and have fun. If you win,
Mhm.
great. Don't.
Yeah.
At least you're having fun. Because
Right. Yeah, that's what we all do it for at the end of the day is to
yeah,
have
just
fun.
just have fun. I mean, because with everything going on, the prices are going up. You want to have at least some, memories.
Mhm. Oh
And
yeah, for sure.
definitely some memories about, hey, I played World Cup. I played in World Cup not as a 3-man, but as a 5-man. Like, and
Hmm.
I think that's everybody's dream, to be honest with you, is play World Cup not as a 3-man, but as a
Yeah,
5-man.
like an X ball. Yeah.
Yeah, like X ball 5-man. Just have all your friends and just you
Yeah, it's always a great time. Like out of what we make a whole experience out of it. Like I feel like it's always
have
so
to. It's
we look
Disney. Come
forward
on.
to it. Yeah, exactly. We make a trip out of it every time. And actually this year, I'm not missing any school until Cup because I'm going to be missing so much. But I'm going the weekend before to practice there in Florida, um, and then just staying through World
They
Cup.
stay there for
So
like a whole week or two.
yeah, I'm gonna be there for like 10 days. I leave on the 4th and I
Woo!
come back on the 14th. Yeah, it's a long time. And my parents were like, "Are you sure?" But like I've always been good in school, so they trust me to like keep up with my work and everything.
Right.
But it's gonna be super fun. And I said earlier I was like, I'm cursed or something because I have a silver medal from every NXL event so far. Because for the majors, I have it from playing with Destiny, except for Chicago because they didn't go. But like the two minors, like the kids took second in that one, and then in Sacramento, I got called to play that last minute, and I went to play it, and we got second there too. And I was like, oh my gosh, I literally like the medals are so nice from NXL,
Right.
but I have a silver from each one, and so I'm like, World Cup, I gotta break the curse, like it's happening.
Yeah, and it happens. I mean,
Yeah.
I never. Well, I played a couple of tournaments before, and they had medals and stuff like that. And I never actually played like, how can I say this? I never play NXL, but knowing that you're playing a series and you're going on the podium and you want that medal, you want that gold medal, you want that number one,
Yeah.
and but just be happy that you got on the podium because you could, like, that's why I always, every time when I used to coach a team or tell the team, like, look, just make sure you get on the podium. Just get on.
Hmm.
At least
Oh
you
yeah,
get,
it's such a nice feeling.
yeah, even first, second, or third, you got on the podium.
Yeah, you have a medal, you're leaving with something.
Exactly. I mean, and honestly, I wish that you would play in VPS. I've heard a lot of good reviews, especially Tyler telling me that it's a great experience. I think it would be a great experience for you and the other girls to give it a try. I mean, it's like NXL, but not really because it's like a smaller, and you do
Hmm.
get on Twitch, so a
Hmm.
little bit
Yeah.
different platform exposure. In my
Yeah,
part,
the two of the girls who play on our team, they play in the MVPS with their team Shenanigans. And then also, whenever I went and played the paintball combine
hmm
in 2019 and 2020,
hmm
we played part of the MVPS, and it was a really good tournament. If I have the opportunity to go back over there, I totally would.
oh yeah, of course. So, all right. So my question is this: what is the next big step for you?
Um, I would say like I just kind of like getting more. Hopefully next year the WNXL will have all of the events, and I feel like that'll make it a little more serious, a little more like make us all a little more committed, and having our like 2 layout weekend practices. I feel like right now I'm like I go out and practice, but it's hard to balance everything, especially with being in school and then with the kids, and then also playing with the cheesecakes right now, and then Destiny and everything. So I think next year, like just focusing more in on the pro stuff because obviously that's like the major part. That's my top
You gotta,
priority as far as paintball.
you gotta balance it all out, girl. You really.
Yeah. Oh, it's hard,
Yeah,
but
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when I was running the aces and eights, I had to balance with school, with this, and you gotta do what's best for you. You gotta do what's best for you, and know that, hey, what is gonna take me higher? What's gonna take me to the top?
yeah,
And um, so you just gotta balance it out, especially with school. I mean, I can understand that. I understand that completely. I am not doing well at school because biology is not my thing.
yeah. I'm taking biology too. I want
Yeah,
to go to. I want
oh, bullying me. I hate
see
it.
for me. My thing is chemistry. I'm really good at biology, but chemistry is not really my thing. But
Maybe you
I'm
could help me because I suck at it.
yeah.
Suck
I
at it.
I want to go to med school, so I have a lot of school ahead of me, and
Mhm.
So I know I'm probably gonna have to take a maybe not be in paintball as much whenever I get more into my schools, but I'm not gonna ever quit,
No,
but like kind of just
take
not
a
do
break. I
as
mean,
much.
yeah, you got to
Yeah,
take a break to worry about school because you can take that education.
paintball is always gonna be there.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, yeah.
And honestly, if I'm gonna throw this out there, if paintball ever becomes an Olympic sport, I wish it would. I wish it would. I hope you be play for America because that would be awesome. That would be really awesome. And
Yeah. So I think that's part of the reason why they started the WNXL, because whenever they were first having their meetings about it, they had all the women kind of listen to like their ideas,
mhm,
and they're I don't know if this is gonna happen, but they were talking about they want paintball to be in the Olympics whenever it comes back to Los Angeles. I'm not sure what year that is, but they have to have women representation in a certain amount of countries, and
mhm.
so that's kind of part of the reason why they started the WNXL also, because we don't have that women representation right now, but they want to do
Oh,
that.
it's hard, especially with China. It's hard in
Yeah.
China because of the fact that with everything going on, not trying to get political or anything, but with everything going on in the East and everything, so it's kind of gonna be hard. Like, but
Hmm.
I think it will happen one day, and I hope that, like I said, you and some of the each of the other girls play for America. That would be awesome to see,
That
because
would be really cool.
and well, yeah.
I
So
see Tyler's comment 1v1 me for a coin.
yeah,
That's so funny because I have one silver coin that I was given for my graduation last year, and then I also have two gold coins that
are
were
you up for the
given to me.
challenge?
I don't know. I don't want to I'm just okay. So I've had those coins, right, and I've never battled anyone because I'm so scared to lose them. But I'll
Or
think about
very
it.
how about this? I know I'm doing a giveaway of the cup. How about this? Between you and Tyler, whoever wins gets the Paintball Lounge cup. I have an extra one. It doesn't have the ceramic coating, but whoever wins,
Okay,
if you all want
that's
to do it.
that's that's a better one.
So Tyler, if you're
I'll
watching this, if you want to do it,
Mark two.
no, Tyler,
uh,
come on, come on, dude, she works
I'll
really
think about it. I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
hard. So, all right, Haley. So, do you have any questions for me or the podcast? Because go right ahead.
Um, I don't know. I don't really think so. We've had a really good conversation about everything so far. I don't really know if I have any questions, but I really appreciate you having me on here.
Oh, of course. I mean, I wanted to grow the sport. I want to grow the sport as well as the podcast. I mean, I know there's a lot of podcasts out there about paintball, but I think the most of it people recognize is Destination Y'all's Girls one, and uh, the PTG.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, and so it's it really is hard to have a podcast that's dedicated to the sport that's underground and been shadowed like so many times. And
Hmm.
so I do the best I can. And I'm glad that you came. Really, like I said, you're one of my idols. I hope I see you in LAX. And if you do win, send me a picture. Send me a
Oh, of
picture
course.
or give a shout out to us because trust me, I support y'all 100%.
Oh yeah, of course. I definitely will.
Thank you for coming on the show, Haley. It was awesome you coming here. Really. Thank you.
Oh yeah, I really appreciate like you having me on. I love doing these things, and I could talk about paintball all day long.
Well, same here.
So
Sometimes my
yeah,
girl hates it.
yeah.
But all right, well, you have a good night, and I hope you win it at World Cup.
Thank you. That's the plan.
No problem. Later.
Bye.
All right, y'all. That was Haley from Destiny, the Destiny Girls, and that was a fun interview. That was a really fun interview, and I enjoy it very, very much. It's She's like I said in the whole podcast. I keep on saying it, but it's because the work she put in and the amount of short time that she played paintball. It's just one of those stories of the underdog rising up and making a big impact. And if y'all seen her, how she plays, and the stuff that she does as a person, and playing for a pro team, then play for AC Kids and the Royal Cheesecake. She now as well going to medical school. She has a lot on her plate, but she keeps on going, and she's one of those idols I admire in the women's division. And I hope that she keeps on going, keeps on going. I hope she does win World Cup. I really do. I have much respect for her, and I hope I see her again. I hope we all see her again back in LAX or any event, because it's just an awesome having her by your side, because she's one of those players that you can just chill with. But I think we have a great show. I hope y'all stay put, because after the show, we're going to do a post show. We're going to do a post show on the Facebook channel. So I hope y'all stay tuned for that. But this is your host, Zachary.